Hello, dear English-speaking friends. I'm doing finally this little video to explain to you what Vipassana is about, how I lived it, and what I learned about it, out of it. So I'm currently talking to you from this place in Ardèche, where the weather is not as good as it could, but still quite a beautiful place, isn't it? Yeah. So I want to talk to you a lot about Vipassana itself, just because you can have all the informations online. So I would just put some links below the video, like that, if you're interested about the schedule and the inscriptions and where it was about, and even some meditations that I can't really tell you about. You can find everything on the links below the video. The only thing you should know about the meditation by itself is like there is not one but several meditation that we do along the 10 days, and like basically is to learn how to focus your mind on something, to make it as sharp as possible, and then you can use it to observe yourself. Okay. And then there's another one which you learn the last day, which is the meditation of unconditional love, to spread love, energy all around you, and to cure yourself a bit as well after these 10 days of Vipassana retreat, which are quite intense, actually. So, it was 10 days in silence, as you may know. So basically, you didn't have to speak to everyone, but to anyone but the teacher. If you had some questions, you could talk to him, like ask your question for once or twice a day. And there's like another guy who was in charge of everything about the accommodations and stuff. So if you had any trouble, obviously you could get him and explain him what was troubling you. So I think I was speaking about like 1 minute a day or so. But actually, like a lot of people asked me when I came back if it wasn't like that hard. But actually, it wasn't at all. I found it like quite easy because everyone was just in the same mood. So, I mean, you were never tempted to speak. And anyway, you're like doing so much focusing on yourself, on your mind, and trying not to think actually, but to feel each time of the day that, I mean, it wasn't a trouble. Actually, when I finished the silence after like the 10th day, I needed like some time to be able to speak my first word, because I didn't want it to be like just a nonsense word or something. Actually, a guy just came out of nowhere and he was doing the same retreat than me. And the first thing he said when we saw a paper where we saw that we could finally meet the girls and talk to them, he said, "Okay, let's go see the chicks, right?" And so it was kind of funny, but for myself, for my part, I didn't want that to be my first word. I think my first word was just hello to some guy who said me hello. So yeah, we were separated, both women and guys, and like to avoid, I think, desire and stuff. So you may ask about homosexual, and that's a good question, but I don't have an answer for you. So anyway, like each day we were meditating about 10 hours a day, okay, from 4:30 in the morning till 9:30 in the evening, with obviously some breaks for breakfast, lunchtime. Then there is like at 5:30, I think, like a fruit and a hot beverage time. We didn't have a proper dinner at night, but it was enough actually. We ate really well, and yeah, and so we were sleeping only like 6 hours a night, but for my part it was kind of hard to find the sleep, so most of the time I didn't sleep that much, but it was actually pretty okay. Just like at the end of the 10 days I was kind of exhausted, but it wasn't a trouble during the retreat, not that much. But so the real question is, what about the meditation then? Because that was actually what was the most important, intense, hardest time I had in all my life, I think. Because, I mean, I wasn't used to try to focus again and again and again and again for hours and hours and hours doing the same stuff. I think no one does if you haven't done such a retreat or something like that. And so at some point I was just thinking about crying or screaming or doing anything but meditating. But the thing is, because you are there and everything is made in order for you to meditate, then it's not that trouble again. It's just like really hard. But I mean, if you get there, and you know you want to make it through the 10 days, then you have a motivation and then you can do it. Otherwise, if you just get there for fun or for an experience, something, I don't think you make it through. Maybe, but I wouldn't have, I think. And yeah, by the way, I would recommend to anyone to do such a thing if you feel like it. I mean, as I say, it was really, really hard, but now I can really feel it gave me a lot. It gave me actually the insight that I had everything in my own self to be able to go over all these steps, like really hard steps, and that I could do it actually, that my mind was strong enough. And that for me is kind of amazing. Like, we were about 50 and like only 5 or 6 quitted during the whole retreat. And actually 1 or 2 I didn't even understand because they quitted like the last day or the day just before that. And for me it makes no sense, but I don't know. But still, that means that you have the power to do it first, which is kind of, I think, amazing, because I didn't have such a taste for the effort before that, and I realized I could do it. So that's a good point. Second, it gave me a tool, like a precious tool, just to, you know, this time where you have bad habits, like you're saying, okay, I'm doing that again and again, I need to control myself. And it's hard, but you can do it, because you can control your arm, you can control your body, so you can control your habit, more or less, right? But it's hard. Then you should try to control the way you speak, your own words. And that's even harder, because sometimes it just goes through like that, go out of your mouth, but still you can do it, like step by step, you can control what you say, right? But your thought, what about your thought? How do you control your own thought? And that was one of my trouble. I mean, if I have bad thought, I know that's bad. Okay, I don't want to have like angry thought or thought bad. I don't know, a lot of bad stuff. But still, how do I control them? And then I learned how not to control them, but just not to focus on them, just to focus on something else, knowing that these thoughts are just not part of me. It's not myself. It just occurs. As you can see a bird in the sky, it's not yourself, right? And you're not thinking, oh my God, I see a bird, I am this bird. No, the bird is the bird. It's outside of yourself. The thought is inside yourself, but it's not you. Then you may ask who you are, and I won't be the guy to ask for. I would say that you are the guy who is listening to the voice, right? So you can just like say, okay, there's a voice, I don't care, I focus on something else. And observing it and knowing that is kind of like great tool for me. And now when I feel sad or when I feel angry or whatever, I try just to remember that, focus on the sensation in my body, and wait, because that's the thing that we learn as well in Vipassana, is like any feeling, any sensation has the same nature. It comes, you spend some time in your body, right? And then it goes away. Any sensation is made out of that. It could be pain, it could be nice sensation, but still it will pass away. So you should not focus on them. So he gave me that, and yeah, it gave me as well the the knowledge about meditations, because I think a lot of people are just thinking, okay, I want to meditate, but I don't know how to do it. Everyone thinking about focusing on their breath, and actually that's a really good thing, but it's much more than that. I mean, you have many ways to meditate, but then there are some, I mean, you have a lot of differences, and they are not made for the same things. I mean, you can You can focus on your breath. You can focus on a mantra like Om Mani Padme Hum or something like that. You can focus on a picture on your mind. You can focus on all your senses, what they can sense, right? You can do many stuff, but this technique is apparently was discovered or rediscovered by the Buddha 2,500 years ago, and was made actually to first to make you happier and stuff, but the ultimate goal is to reach the illumination, to enlighten yourself, to become a Buddha actually. So obviously, most of us won't be able to reach this point in one life, because obviously Buddhist believes in several lives. But still, I mean, it isn't my goal to reach the Buddha state. It's more like being happier in this life, being more calm, being able to control myself, right? And as a good example, I used to consume quite a lot of alcohol, tobacco, and other stuff. And I think that was a bad thing, especially when I don't control myself, and it wasn't like something I really enjoyed at some point. It was just something for me to escape reality. But then Vipassana told me that I should accept reality, observe it, and just don't have any feeling about it. Just like, okay, that is pain, that is nice sensation, that is anger, that is whatever, but still, I decide to be happy or not. I decide to be calm or not. And in this way, first week I was saying, okay, I will stop tobacco, I will stop drinking, I will stop everything. That lasted for a week. But then I started to drink like little beer and have like half a cigarette, just because I really wanted it and because I was feeling that I was controlling it, and that was it. I didn't need it more. And I think that's my point. If I can do whatever I do with my full conscious, then that's brilliant. What I don't want to do is like do anything just because I want to escape reality or just because of habit or whatever. And so that gives me that as well. Okay, so I think that's kind of already of a long video for you. If you have any other questions, please ask me directly under this video with your comment, or in a personal message as you want. And as I said, I will put you the link below, and I send you all my love and all my good vibes, and I wish you to be happy, and I wish you to experiment such a retreat or something else if you're feeling like that. And yeah, with all my love, and see you later, alligator. Bye bye.